What's going on, everyone? So I'm actually pretty excited about this video today because GAN was nice enough to send me over a couple copies of the brand new 356XS, and I feel like a lot of people have questions about what is exactly different between this cube and the 356X. So to start off the video, we're going to dive right in and start comparing the pieces, the mechanisms, the hardware, and everything else. So let's do that. So the first thing you notice when you pick up the XS is the fact that it feels a lot less substantial than the X. So let me show you what I mean. The XS is 68.8 grams, and the X is over 10 grams heavier at 81.5, and it's definitely noticeable. But we'll get into why that is in just a minute. So looking at the edges, you can see that the overall geometry is fairly similar, although there have been some changes. You can see on the XS that they went with a one-piece construction with caps, whereas on the X, they had two pieces with caps. They've also removed these tabs that attach the caps on the X, and they've added an adjustable magnet system on the XS, which is new for GAN, but we've seen it before in the Cubeologist EDM. And if you're not familiar with how the new magnet adjustment system works on the XS, just look at how it aligns with the corner. So right now it's on the strongest setting, which is all the way down, and you can see that it lines up perfectly with the magnet in the corner. Whenever you push it up, it misaligns the magnet ever so slightly, causing there to be a weaker attraction between the pieces. And all the way up is the weakest setting, and honestly, this setting feels weaker than any of the GMS on the 356X. So I think that the range of magnetic fields is actually larger in the XS. And on the corners, there honestly isn't much of a change. You can see that they went with the one-piece construction again on the XS, whereas on the X, the corner base and stalk attached to the main piece. So yeah, other than that, not much has changed. You can see that they cleaned up the hex pattern around the magnet. But yeah, I think these would probably be interchangeable. And look at that, it does work. This frosted corner is from the XS, and this is in the X. Still performs perfectly. The geometry of the centerpiece is honestly identical. I can't find a single difference. But one thing I do see that's different is the core. As you can see on the GAN X, there are metal rods attached to a plastic core, whereas on the XS, it is all plastic. And I think that is the majority of where the weight decrease comes from. And there's the difference in the cores and how they attach to the centerpieces. You can see that on the XS, this has like a double wing design, whereas on the X, it just used a single tab. On the 356X, if you wanted to change the tension, that's easy, right? Just use your hands, push down, turn until it goes to the slot you want it to be in. But if you want to change the compression of the spring, that involves switching out all 6 of the GES nuts. And with the XS, GAN has decided to go with a dual adjustment style GES system. So you can still tension it with your hands. You can see there are only 2 settings, but you can also adjust the feel by using this dual adjustment system. So this is the provided tool. You just put this in and twist counterclockwise, and there are 6 different settings. So this is the base setting, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that is as compressed as you can make the spring. So as you can see, it pulls this up, or rather pushes the GES down to compress the spring. But if you click it one more time, you're right back to home. Also, this cube came with the light blue dual adjustment installed, and the dark blue was in the bag with the tool. So I assumed that it was a finer adjustment, or maybe even a more coarse adjustment tool, but it looks like the teeth are exactly the same, so I think they're just extras. That's not bad. So overall, there were 3 major changes from the 356X to the XS. One was the updated GES with the dual adjustment system. 2 is the slidable adjustable magnets, and 3 is the new core that's all plastic, which reduces the weight. And out of those 3, the one that impacts me the most, I would say, is the lighter weight. Since starting to use this cube, when I go back to my WRM or the 356X, they just feel really heavy and clunky and kind of uncomfortable. I don't know if this is going to be my main or not yet, but it's definitely making my other preferred 3x3s feel less and less preferable. And the reason I say that the weight is the most significant change for me is because with the dual adjustment system and the slidable magnets and all of that, once you find a setup that works for you, you really don't mess with it anymore. At least I don't. And the frosted plastic's kind of a buzzkill, but it's just slightly frosted like the Mega Minx. Overall, I think this is a fantastic release from GAN. And say what you want about them using MoU's technology, they didn't just slap it in a puzzle, they changed or upgraded each version of it. They used the sliding magnet adjustment system, but put it in a stickerless puzzle. They used the dual adjustment system, but combined it with the GES so you can tension it by your hand. So it's not like they just took these technologies and reused them. They took them, upgraded them, and put them in their flagship 356XS. So I'm definitely a fan of this release. Good job, GAN, and thanks for sending this puzzle over. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you later.